The 2026 World Cup sounds simple. 32 teams, one country, one champion, right?
Wrong. This tournament just broke every rule the World Cup has ever followed.
For the first time ever, 3 countries are hosting the same World Cup together. The United States, Mexico, and Canada are sharing one massive, chaotic soccer party.
16 host cities are spread across a landmass bigger than all of Europe.
11 cities sit in the US, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada.
That means fans could fly 6 hours just to follow their team's next match. And it gets more complicated. 48 teams are competing, not the usual 32. That's 16 more nations than any World Cup in history has ever allowed.
FIFA didn't just add teams. They rebuilt the entire tournament format from scratch.
12 groups of 4 teams now battle through the opening group stage rounds. The top 2 from every group automatically punch their ticket to the knockouts. But here's the twist. The 8 best third-place teams also sneak through. That creates a brand new round of 32 teams nobody has seen before. Suddenly, finishing third in your group might still mean you're still alive. 104 matches will be played across this record-breaking tournament. Compare that to 64 matches at the last World Cup in Qatar. The tournament now stretches 39 days, the longest World Cup ever played.
Players who reach the final could play 8 grueling matches in 5 weeks.
Some athletes will barely have time to recover between long-haul flights and games.
Speaking of flights, travel logistics for this World Cup are genuinely mind-bending.
Teams might play a group match in Mexico, then jump to Canada days later. Imagine training in humid Miami heat, then landing in cool Vancouver 48 hours later.
Time zones alone span from Pacific to Eastern, confusing fans trying to watch live. An American summer heat is no small obstacle for teams used to cooler climates. Several host cities regularly hit temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit in June and July.
FIFA has adjusted kickoff times to try to protect players from dangerous heat exhaustion. Some afternoon matches were pushed later to avoid the most brutal midday sun.
Even with changes, players and medical staff remain worried about extreme summer conditions. Then there's the stadium situation, which is its own logistical puzzle entirely. Most US venues are NFL football stadiums, not built with soccer in mind.
Crews had to temporarily convert gridiron turf into full regulation soccer pitches. Some fields were widened, some resurfaced, and sightlines completely reworked for fans.
Estadio Azteca in Mexico City became the first stadium to host 3 different World Cups.
MetLife Stadium in New Jersey was chosen to host the tournament's grand final.
Coldplay is even set to help produce a Super Bowl-style halftime show there.
That's right, the World Cup final now gets its own massive concert moment. Meanwhile, Dallas and Atlanta will host the two nail-biting semifinal matchups.
Miami was picked to host the emotionally charged third-place playoff match instead.
Every host city needed massive upgrades to transportation, security, and fan infrastructure. Local governments spent years preparing roads, transit systems, and hotels for the influx. Millions of international visitors are expected to travel through North America this summer. On June 25th, total attendance already broke the all-time World Cup record.
More than 3.6 million fans have already passed through the turnstiles.
That beats the previous record, set way back at the 1994 World Cup. Fittingly, that record was also set right here in the United States.
Now, 32 years later, America is once again rewriting World Cup history. But bigger numbers also mean bigger controversy swirling around this expanded tournament.
Critics argue 48 teams dilutes the quality of the world's best competition.
Some coaches have publicly worried the tournament risks becoming, in their words, ordinary.
Others say expansion finally gives smaller footballing nations a real chance to shine.
This year, countries like Cape Verde and Curacao made their World Cup debuts. Jordan and Uzbekistan also qualified for their first ever World Cup appearance ever. For these nations, just reaching the tournament already feels like a historic triumph.
Even Qatar, the 2022 host, had to qualify on the field this time. Meanwhile, giants like Argentina arrived hoping to defend their 2022 championship crown.
Only two nations in history have ever successfully defended their World Cup title.
Every match this summer carries extra weight because of that rare possibility. Ticket prices have also sparked plenty of debate among everyday soccer fans.
FIFA's dynamic pricing model means costs shift based on demand in real time. Some fans praised the flexibility, while others called the system confusing and unfair. Scalpers and resale markets added another layer of frustration for budget-conscious families. FIFA repeatedly urged fans to buy only through official, verified ticketing channels. Parking near stadiums became its own expensive, must-plan-ahead purchase this year. Security planning across 3 nations required unprecedented coordination between different governments. Border logistics between the US, Mexico, and Canada added extra travel complexity.
Fans crossing borders for matches needed to plan visas and paperwork carefully.
FIFA created a digital pass system to help simplify entry and travel logistics.
Broadcasters also faced a scheduling nightmare, with matches spread across every time zone.
Networks had to juggle overlapping games happening simultaneously in different countries entirely. American audiences, in particular, saw a surge of new, casual soccer viewers. Youth soccer participation numbers have grown steadily across the US for years.
This World Cup was seen as a chance to convert casual fans into diehards.
Local economies in host cities are expecting massive tourism and spending boosts.
Restaurants, hotels, and small businesses prepared months in advance for the crowds.
Some cities built entire fan festival zones just for public watch parties.
Meanwhile, prize money reached a record $50 million for this year's champion. That's up significantly from the $42 million awarded back in Qatar. Every qualified team also received guaranteed funding just to cover preparation costs.
Even the official match ball got a full redesign for this tournament. Adidas unveiled the Trionda, engineered for speed across different playing conditions. Mascots also got a North American makeover, representing all three host nations. Maple the Moose represents Canada, while Zayu the Jaguar represents Mexico proudly. Clutch the Bald Eagle rounds out the trio representing the United States. Even something as simple as the mascots reflects the shared hosting spirit.
Some critics argue this expansion was more about politics than pure sport. Supporters counter that global growth requires bringing new nations into the spotlight.
Both sides agree on one thing. This tournament changes soccer's global landscape forever. The sheer scale alone makes comparisons to past World Cups nearly impossible. No previous tournament asked fans, players, or broadcasters to think this globally. No previous World Cup demanded this much cross-border planning and cooperation either. Every kickoff now carries logistical stakes far beyond just what happens on the pitch. From humid Miami nights to cool Vancouver afternoons, conditions vary wildly by city.
From ancient Aztec stadiums to brand new NFL venues, history collides with innovation.
This tournament isn't just bigger, it's fundamentally more complicated than any before it. And somehow, through all that complexity, the football itself remains genuinely thrilling.
Underdog nations are shocking giants, and legends are chasing one final historic trophy.
Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: World Cup 2026 will be unforgettable. So grab your jersey, check the time zone, and enjoy the most complicated World Cup ever.